Hi there and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. So this is just a quick video really, well probably a long time coming, but I've just recently put out my playlist of my self-employment video diaries that I did. Now these go back way back to 2020, and basically what happened is I left my teaching job to go self-employed as a self-employed musician and piano teacher, and it happened just before COVID-19 and during COVID-19, so during that 2020 period. And I've kept the videos on private for quite a long time, and I decided actually it'd be nice to release them again. So I'll put a link to the playlist. Obviously there's a lot there, there's 52 episodes. So, you know, have a watch. From a historical point of view, I think it's quite interesting. And I was watching through some of the videos and it got me thinking, well, this was, you know, coming up to 5 years ago now. So what's changed for me? What's happening? What's my kind of career looking like at the moment? And I thought I would just do like a brief little outline of what's going on really and what's changed, because there have been quite a few changes since I did those videos. Now, when I look back on them, I can see that there was a lot of excitement and optimism in my eyes, and I think there were some really great moments, and I think I was really quite happy doing what I was doing. But one of the things that unfortunately could not be avoided and had to be addressed was the financial instability of what I was doing. You know, I was building up pupils and I had, you know, I had work, but it wasn't enough really. It wasn't enough to give any kind of sense of stability. And so I did it for a little while, you know, I did it for a while. And what's kind of happened is I was a sort of 100% self-employed. And then I started to add in some additional work. It started off with working with a music service, which was more of a salaried kind of position, but it only just 1 day a week, which kind of started to give me a little bit more financial stability, mainly during the holidays, because, you know, when you're self-employed in the summer holidays and things, you don't get paid, you know, unless you're teaching. And obviously what I was finding is during those periods, my pupil output of lessons would go down. So I was finding that there was definitely a challenge there. And so I had to look into taking on some extra work, which I did. And I still continue to do to this day. But again, I was in this difficult position where I was not quite happy enough and secure enough really in my life to just live off what I was making. And it's the age old thing, isn't it? You know, you either be a desolate, starving musician, or you have to look into finding some more stability. Now, had I been just me on my own, then I probably, you know, would have gone for the starving musician route. But I am a parent, and obviously that's very important. So I took on some additional work, and I've just completed my first full year of working at this additional place, which is another 2 days a week. So what I've found is that my balance between self-employment and employment is around about a 50-50 split. And so, yeah, it's a bit different. It's a little bit of a different lifestyle now for me, because some of the things I used to do when I was self-employed, I no longer do, for numerous reasons. Mostly time is the most important thing. And one of the things that I don't do now is busking. And I miss it. I do miss busking, but sadly, I don't really have the time to do it. And the financial return, I suppose, it means that it's not an attractive proposition for me to do. It's very attractive to do if money was not an option and I could just go out casually and not have to worry about anything, but it was just no longer possible for me to do. So I miss it. And one thing I do miss is actually performing, you know, going out and playing, because, you know, that's where I feel like I perhaps shine a little bit. But again, where do you fit it all in? How do you fit it in? So you can see that my quandary here is that I've kind of I've moved to the other side of the, well, what I've tried is I've got the seesaw, and I was very much on this way, and I've kind of started to move back towards the teaching route, which for those of you who watch my self-employed videos will know that I was trying to move away from that. But of course, circumstances are circumstances. You have to sometimes decide what to do and how to get by. And so now, looking back on all of those videos that I did and looking forward, I can see that, yeah, the pendulum is sort of swung the other way a little bit, and I'm trying to regain my spark with music, which I know sounds probably a bit strange, but I've noticed that when I looked back on my old self-employment videos, I was creating so much music. I was writing so many new albums and releasing them. I was off. And now I've lost a lot of motivation and energy to get things done. Now, I blame it on a few things, all of which I take responsibility for. But one of them is I think just social media has conditioned us to become much more easily distracted and to have access to things a lot easier, so we can just quickly grab things and not have that sense of working towards things, or I don't know, the attention span. I feel my attention span has dropped a little bit in recent years. So I am trying to reignite some of the characteristics I feel I had in those old videos. How I do that, I'm not quite sure yet. And I think I've got a few hurdles to jump over first of all. I think one thing I've discovered is that, frustratingly, when you push to earn more money in your life, the society seems to punish you, because I do sort of feel like even though I'm earning more money than I was in the videos before, I somehow seem to be kind of in a worse position financially, in the sense that the tax man, isn't it? The tax man just is robbing us blind, and it's brutal. It's brutal because you work hard and then you feel like you're not really seen much for your hard work. So anyway, this is just an update, just to freestyle it a little bit in terms of what I noticed on those old videos and how I would like to go forward, I suppose. And please do check out the videos. They didn't get many views when they were released, so it'd be good if people put it on in the background. You don't even have to watch, you can just have it on in the background and see what you think, because it's a historical document as well. It's about what was happening during COVID and during lockdown, so it's kind of like a personal diary also of that period of time, which I think is very, very interesting to watch. Particularly my reactions to COVID at that time were quite different to how they are now, but I think that's the case for many of us. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for subscribing. Getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so I'm going to continue pushing forward to achieve that goal. And I'll see you all in my next video. Take care.